Hi, greetings to everybody. How are you today? Can you hear me all right? Please let me know how's the audio. Can you hear me loud and clear? If you have any questions, please send them in now and I will try to answer them for 1 hour. If somehow your question have been skipped, it probably means that your question did not show on my screen. So you might have to resubmit your question again. Because sometimes there are so many people sending in comments and questions, and sometimes some of your older questions or comments will be pushed off the screen, off my screen, so I wouldn't see your questions or your comment. So this is how it works. Sometimes it seems like I have skipped your question. That's because sometimes they just move out of my screen before I could read them. So if you have any question, send them in now and I will try to answer them. Let me know how's the sound and also let me know where you come from if this is your first time. We are on meditation. Sound and video is good. Kenneth Hunt, good morning, Ajahn. You are very clear, thank you. Eric Chu from Penang, Malaysia, are saying good morning, Ajahn. From Singapore, Irene Uy, good afternoon, Ajahn, and everyone in the Dhamma, Sadhu. Sabrina Sage, do stream enterers still have free will? Yes, they still have free will, but their will be always good will, not bad will. They only think of the other people for the benefit and the happiness of other people. They will not do anything that will hurt other people. Shesharo made, so why human beings are still suffering? That's because they still have defilements. They still have greed, hatred, and delusion. These are the cause of their suffering. Tan Kwang Wei, good morning, Ajahn. Pasana, greeting from Bangkok. The sound and video is clear. Kwan Liman, dear Ajahn, with respect. How are you, Ajahn? Can Ajahn please explain the cause and effect happening in Paticcasamuppada? This is the thing that works in the mind. One thing causes another thing to work, to function, and then another, it keeps on like a domino. Like avijja is ignorant. When you have ignorance in your mind, avijja will instigate your thoughts to go look for happiness outside of your mind. So sankhara will then instigate vijnana or consciousness to go look for sensual organs, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, to connect to the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and the body. And then in order to be able to connect with the sensual objects, as soon as they have contact, then feeling will arise. Having feeling, then desire will arise. Having desire, there will be attachment to the objects. And having attachment, there will be more desire for more. So there will be more becoming. And with becoming, there will be birth. When the body dies, then the mind will then seek for a new body. That's what rebirth comes into play. So this is how it works with the mind, with ignorance or avijja. Silani Anuksha, bye bye, Bible, Bye bye. Good morning, Tan Ajahn from Sri Lanka. Andy Lam, Sadhu. Darren To, hi Ajahn. I would like to ask, how can one find peace and calm the mind in such challenging times? I try meditation, but the mind always cannot quiet down. Thank you so much, Darren. This is something you have to practice. You can't just suddenly calm your mind if you haven't done any practice before. So you have to be patient. You have to keep developing mindfulness. Keep reciting the mantra instead of letting your mind think endlessly. Force it to recite the mantra, or force the mind to focus on your body action. Keep watch what your body is doing. Walking, standing, sitting, or doing things. You have to focus on your body action. Then you will have mindfulness strong enough to calm your mind when you meditate. When you meditate, you just sit down and watch your breath. If your mindfulness is strong, your mind will not go think about other things. Then your mind will become calm, peaceful, and happy. Cesaro made people are well educated and having a lot of money. In spite of this, they are unhappy because money is not the cause of your happiness. The cause of your happiness is the cessation of your defilement, greed, hate, and delusion. And you can do this only by meditation and the development of wisdom. Question from Claudia Ronchetti, Switzerland. Could Ajahn please explain in detail the 7 factors of enlightenment? I don't remember all of the 7 factors, but they are the Dhamma that you need to become enlightened. So you have to look up in the book, in the text, and develop them, such as mindfulness and diligence and equanimity. These are the factors of enlightenment. Some of the factors of enlightenment. I cannot remember them all. These are the Dhamma that you need to develop by the practice of Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Year-old SC greeting Ajahn from Malaysia. Are saying, Ajahn, please teach us how to be self-aware while doing daily activity. Example, working, driving. Just keep watching what you do. When you're working, watch what you do. Don't let your mind go think about other things. Focus on your work only. If you're driving, focus on your driving. If you're walking, focus on your walking. Concentrate on what you do. Then you will have strong mindfulness. When you meditate, then you can focus on your breath and bring your mind to samadhi, to calm. Shesharo made, thank you, sir. A most revered teacher. You're welcome. Cheryl Teo, Sadhu Tanajan for sharing the Dhamma. I am from Malaysia. One Vimon Nuong Macha, Sadhu Ajahn, Sadhu. Willie Siana, good morning Tanajan. I am Willie from Indonesia. I have 2 questions. One, if we have bad thoughts towards somebody, especially our teachers, be it intentionally or unintentionally, should we just ignore and don't pay any attention to the thoughts, or should we ask forgiveness to the person? Just ignore the thoughts. Tell yourself that this is just only thought, that sometimes you cannot prevent it from thinking. So long as you don't believe in your bad thought, then it's okay. You don't believe in and you don't do what your bad thought asks you to do. You should force your mind to think of good thoughts, the opposite of your bad thoughts, like your teachers. If you think bad about your teacher, you should say your teacher is someone who will teach you knowledge. They don't hurt you, they help you. So you should not be mad at them or do anything bad to them. You can educate your mind, teach your mind to think correctly. You don't need to go ask forgiveness because they don't know what you think. So as long as you don't do any action that will hurt them, then you don't need to ask for forgiveness. Second question, how to overcome boredom in doing practice. Just keep on reciting the mantra or keep doing chanting and ignore the boredom. When the mind becomes calm, then the boredom will disappear. You just have to be patient and endure your boredom. Don't let your boredom overwhelm you. Try to use the mantra or chanting or focus on what you do or listening to Dhamma book, Dhamma talk, reading Dhamma books. You have to force yourself to do these things in order to overcome your boredom. One Vimon, Sadhu, Sadhu. Cheshire made, Sir, what kind of virtues or qualities required for a supreme human being? The three qualities of morality, samadhi, and wisdom. These are the virtues that makes a human being supreme human being. So you need to develop sila, samadhi, and panya. Or sila means keeping the precept. Samadhi means practice meditation for calm. Wisdom, practice for vipassana, for insight, knowledge. This will make a human, ordinary human, a supreme human being. Jolin Te, good afternoon, Ajahn. Adeline Chin, good morning, Ajahn. Lately I have been having more dreams and my sleep is not so good. I know that is part of the defilement, but the mind wants to keep doing so. How do I lessen the defilement? You have to practice more meditation. When your mind becomes calm, your defilement will become inactive. So try to keep your mind calm as much as possible. Cheshire made, Sir, I am from India. Thank you. Question from Kevin Lee, Malaysia. Dear Ajahn, is it possible to train mind to stop thinking, generating stories all the time? Yes, but not permanently. You can train your mind to stop thinking from time to time. And then you can train your mind to think in the way that is beneficial to you and other people. First, you need to have mindfulness. You have to train yourself in mindfulness by reciting a mantra, Bhutto, 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 all day long. Then you will be able to stop your mind from thinking aimlessly or endlessly. Then the next step is to teach your mind to think in a way that will be profitable for you and other people. Or do we use wisdom to know that we shouldn't be attached to thinking so they don't become a problem anymore? If you can use wisdom, then that's perfect. But sometimes your wisdom isn't strong enough to convince your mind to stop. So you need to use mantra or Bhutto or mindfulness to stop it first. Once you can use the mantra to stop your mind, then you can teach your mind with wisdom not to think. Then your mind will believe you and follow your instruction. Ong Eng Eng Sadhu. Tan Quang Wei. Dear Ajahn, this is Quang Wei from Singapore. When I meditate by observing the breath or reciting Bhutto, at times the mind would wander off. I try to be mindful of it and observe the wandering mind. No, you should not observe the wandering mind. You should come back to recite your Bhutto or watch your breath. As soon as you know you're not, your mind go off, wander off, then you have to come back to your breath. Don't observe your mind because it will keep misleading you away from your object of meditation object. So as soon as you know that your mind is wandering, then you bring it back to your mantra or to your breath. How do we still and calm the mind and increase mindfulness so as to reduce mind wandering out? You have to develop mindfulness all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Then you will have strong enough mindfulness to stop your mind from wandering out. Thank you, Ajahn. You're welcome. Sabrina Sage, dear Ajahn, I have problem planning for the future or making decisions. I am not motivated to plan. There are not many wishes or desire. I don't want to continue the cycle of samsara. How to still life as lay person. Why I battle with indecisiveness and lack of planning. Thank you from Canada. Well, you already have a plan. You don't want to continue the cycle of samsara. So you plan to stop it by practicing the teaching of the Buddha, practicing dana, charity, practicing sila or morality, and practicing meditation. That's all you need to do. You don't need to make any planning. Just do it day after day. Just teach yourself to do these three things. That's all you need to do. Besides from maintaining your body, your life, you should concentrate on doing these three practices of dana, sila, and bhavana to stop your cycle of rebirth. You don't need to plan much. If you want to stop samsara, just practice dana, sila, and bhavana. If you don't have anything to give, then you don't need to practice dana. You just practice sila, keep the precepts, and spend most of your time practicing mindfulness and meditation and wisdom. That's all you need to do. Next, Pat Choi Chom, Sadhu, Sadhu, are saying thank you, Ajahn. Irene Go, good morning, Ajahn. Greetings from Singapore. Thank you for sharing the Dhamma, Sadhu. Ali Hassan, good afternoon, Ajahn, and Kalyana happy and healthy. All, Sadhu, Sadhu. Michael Saw, Sadhu. Tan Quang Woi, dear Tan Ajahn. If one can afford the time and able to do it, would you advise one to go ordain and practice full-time as a monk in Thailand? Yes, but not necessarily in Thailand. Anywhere that you can practice, where you can have a teacher to guide you, and it's okay. In Thailand, it's good place, but if you cannot come to Thailand, you might have to try some other places also. So as long as you can ordain and practice, that's a good thing. Where that's up to you. Where you will be able to find a place to ordain and practice. In Thailand, there are quite many foreigners who come and practice because there are lots of monasteries that will accept foreigners. So Thailand is a good place. Eddie Gan, thank you, Ajahn, for sharing the wisdom. Shisharu made, happy sir to hear the right. Sanduang Ponde, Sadhu, Sadhu. Adeline Chin, thank you, Ajahn. Sami Riachi, good morning, Tan Ajahn. Good morning to you. Ginny Lin Poor, good afternoon, Mahajan. I am fine, thank you. I am Jinalin Pur from Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and I can hear you loud and clear. Sadhu, Sadhu. Anumodami. My mind is very disturbed by our suffering. Our government have no metta on our suffering during this pandemic time. Now citizens are raising white flags to ask for help in hunger. There is now religion preachers forbid our crime of help and blame people of Malaysia. It's against their religion. And now I am confused and said of no loving kindness in the religion. So I need advice from Mahajan. How am I going to calm my mind with this country disaster? Suffering causes human increase to suicide and jumping and hanging to death, which I so sad and sorry of seeing with the five senses. It's so painful. Please help me. Your advice is the most important thing to calm myself. Thank you and sadhu sadhu. My advice is to ignore what other people do. It's not your business. What you need to do is look at yourself and look after yourself. Try not to rely on other people if you can help yourself. And you don't need much to survive. Just have the four requisites of living: having food, shelter, medicine, and clothing. That's all you need. So this is what you should be more concerned with: is to look after yourself, look after your body and your mind by practice meditation and letting go. Teach your mind that this is the nature of this world. The world is full of suffering, and nobody can get rid of the suffering in this world. The only way to not suffer is not to reborn in this world. So you should concentrate on your practice of meditation, of morality, and then your mind will be calm and peaceful, and will understand and accept the reality of this world, and will not be hurt or disturbed by what you see or hear. Shiva A. Sadhu Sadhu. Chicharo made, thank you, sir, for enlightening of our mind with right explanation. You're welcome. Deborah Fiddler, thank you for your guidance. You're welcome. Guanmin Lo Sadhu. Ben Benjamin, hi teacher, is the mantra to calm our mind and stay focused on positive thinking? Yes, it's the first step. Your mantra will stop your mind from thinking, and then your mantra, and then you will have the ability to direct your mind to think positively. So first you need to use the mantra to calm your mind. Once you can calm your mind, it means you have strong mindfulness. Then you can use this strong mindfulness to direct your mind to think positively. Gagyan So, greeting Tanajan, regards from Penang. Thank you. Xiao Shang, Ajahn, last time when meditate, I can use breathing to guide me to calmness. Nowadays, I need mantra again to achieve calmness. Calmness is up and down in my meditation. Any advice to improve my meditation all the time? Thank you. Well, you have to practice consistently and practice more and more if you want to advance in your practice. If you maintain the level of practice that you have, you will only be able to maintain the result of what you have, but you cannot advance. If you want to advance, have more, better result, you have to practice more. Increase your practices as much as possible, and don't let your practice slide back, because your practice is the one that determines the result of your practice. Tan Quang Wei, thank you, Ajahn, for your advice. Sadhu, sadhu. Question from Paul Sim, Malaysia. If consciousness is permanent, does it mean that after an Arahant passes away, his consciousness still exists? If yes, please elaborate more detail about the consciousness. Well, see, the consciousness is the mind. Sometimes we translate consciousness as also the function, one of the four functions of the mind. The mind itself is a consciousness that always exists, never die, never disappear. Once a person passes away, his consciousness still exists, and it can either go reconnect to a new body or never connect anymore. It depends on the ability of the consciousness. If that consciousness can stop all its defilements, then it will have no need to connect to a new body. In order to see the consciousness, you have to meditate until your mind become calm and separate from the body. Then you know that the body and the consciousness are two separate things. Shesharu made Satu Satu, Maha Ajahn Sir, James Ong Satu, Eddie Gan Tanajan, how to overcome jealous by being joyful with other people's success. When you see someone better than you, then you should be joyful with them. Think of it that this is the consequence of their karma. See? Everything that they get is a consequence of their karma. So if they are more successful than you are, that's because they did more good karma than you. And by being jealous doesn't prevent them from becoming better than you. So why hurt yourself by being jealous? Better just to be happy with their success. Mickey LKF. Good afternoon, Ajahn Suchart. Thank you for your teaching, which have helped me tremendously. I am from Singapore. May you be well and healthy to continue spreading the Dhamma. My question has nothing to do with the practice, but I'm just curious. I understand that when we rejoice in the dana that others have done, we will also gain some merit. If while reading the sutta, we will still gain merit if we also rejoice in the dana by the lay people to the Buddha in the past. Thank you. You will rejoice, but you have very small merit. It's not something that you have to worry about. You rejoice only when you see someone or someone you know do good merits, do good deeds like dana, then you just rejoice with them rather than being jealous. Because when you feel jealous, you become unhappy. But when you rejoice, then you become happy. That's all. It's to prevent from making yourself unhappy. Because sometimes when we see people doing something good, sometimes we're not happy because we are not doing the same thing like they do. We cannot do it. So we become jealous, and then we make ourselves feeling bad unnecessarily. So just rejoice with other people's good karma. Whatever they do, if it's good, you should be happy with them. Then you feel happy. That's all. That's the purpose. Kin Jack, dear Venerable Sir, I'm Jack from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Your voice and video is clear. Thank you for spending your precious time with us. Can you kindly advise on what is the best way to get the one who knows to be constantly in charge? By developing mindfulness, by reciting the mantra Bhutto Bhutto all the time, or by focusing on your action, your body action. Whatever you do, whatever your body do, just keep focused. Stay with that body action. Don't let the mind go somewhere else. Don't let the mind go into the past or into the future. Keep the mind in the present with the mantra or with the body. Then the one who knows will be constantly in charge. When we meditate by reciting Bhutto and the mind is constantly thinking, should we drown it by reciting? Yes, just keep reciting the mantra and ignoring the thinking. When you first started, the thinking will not stop immediately. So you just have to be patient and just keep reciting the mantra. Don't stop reciting the mantra. Then eventually your thinking will stop. So that's once the reciting stops, the thinking returns. That's right. You should not stop reciting. This is part of the practice. Thank you again for your answer. Yes, when you start, your thinking will continue to think. Just ignore the thinking and keep reciting until your thinking stops. And when you stop reciting, your thinking can come back again. If it comes back, then you have to recite the mantra again. But eventually, when you stop reciting the mantra, your thinking will not come back. It might come back eventually, but not as strong as before. Then you can always stop it anytime you want to. Sunny Lim, good day, Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu. Hope Ajahn is in good health. Thank you. You're welcome. Aranud Nui from San Jose, California. Could you please suggest how to encourage ourselves to keep practicing more? Thank you very much. Just think of the Dhamma as money. The more you practice, the more you get money. And the Dhamma is more precious than money, because money can only solve your physical problem, but not your mental problem. With Dhamma, the Dhamma will solve your suffering, your mental suffering forever. So think of the Dhamma like money. So if you want more money, you have to work harder. If you want more Dhamma, you have to practice harder. From Kenneth Hunt, dear Ajahn, I have one senior colleague who is even prepared to lie to get what he wants. This annoys me deeply and stirs up my mind. Could Ajahn please advise? Thank you. Well, you have to look at the consequence of the person. If he does bad karma, he will reap the fruit of his bad karma. So you don't need to do anything. You have to leave everybody alone. Don't carry them on your shoulder. You have to be mindful of what you do, and don't worry about what other people do. The Buddha said, each individual will have to reap the consequence of their own karma, not you, not anybody else. So just watch your karma. Make sure you do good karma, like being equanimous, like letting go. This is good karma. When you let go, then you will not feel bad or be annoyed by what the person does, another person does. So leave everybody alone and just focus on your mind to stop from interfering with other people's activity. It's not our business. Let them do what they want to do, and they will reap the consequence of their karma eventually. From Jinilin for thank you for sharing your advice, Mahajan. I was carried away with the Anicca Dukkha Anatta. I'll try my very best to calm my mind with meditation. Sukhihotu. You're welcome. Let me take a break, take a drink of water. From Albert Paul, Sadhu, Sadhu. From Lien Lim, Sadhu, Sadhu. Shiva A. Dear Ajahn, it is fearful to know that everything will fall apart one day, leading us to unknown, which we never had a knowledge of, experience. Need your guidance. See, everything that we have, that we know in this world are all illusions. They are not real. So there's no need to be fearful of them. They are like mirages in the desert. They are not real. You might think they are real, but they are not real. They are impermanent. Everything in this world is impermanent. Eventually, even this whole earth will no longer exist. But that's no problem, because the one who knows this never disappear. The mind never disappear. The mind is always existing. The mind doesn't disappear with everything in this world. So you don't need to be afraid. Come back to your mind, and then you will feel secure and safe. The way to come back to your mind is to meditate. Bring your mind back inside. Don't let your mind go outside. Don't send it to your body. Don't send it to all the sensual objects. meditate, bring your mind back inside, and you will find peace and happiness and stability, and you will not be fearful of anything that disappear. From Sammy Riachi, Dear Ajahn, what do we do when someone is constantly verbally abusive with us, despite our best effort to be good to them? Do we tolerate the abuse, confront them, or cut them off from our life for good? If they're bad for you, why hang around? Why hang around them? Think of them as animals, wild animals. Do you want to live near wild animals? You want to live with tigers, with lions, with snakes? You don't want to. Some people are like animals, so you have to try to stay away from them if you find that they are dangerous to you. Don't try to change them. Yeah. You have to tolerate if you cannot stay away from them. If you have to live with them, then you have to tolerate. Don't react to what they do. Don't try to change them. Leave them alone. But if you can cut them off from your life, then that's the best way. But as long as you still take rebirth, you will always meet people like this. So the only way to be free from them is not to have rebirth. From Nobiti, Namaskar Ajahn from Medan, Indonesia. Sawante, Satu, Satu. Jenitan, Chun Fung, Satu, Satu. Okay. Question from Paul Sim, Malaysia. Question number 2. As I know that Buddhists don't believe about having a soul, how can it be explained in Buddhism that a spirit possesses a person? Buddhists believe we have a soul, but we just don't call it the soul. We call it the mind, or the heart, or the spirit. It's the same thing. Once the body dies, the soul or the spirit doesn't die with the body. The spirit or the soul or the mind exists forever, and if it has defilement, if it has desire, it will go and reconnect with a new body eventually. I don't know about a spirit possess a person. There's no such thing as another spirit possessing another spirit. Each spirit are separate, but they could be influenced. When people say they are being possessed by a spirit, it usually means their own mind is possessing themselves. The delusion is possessing themselves. When they experience something abnormal, they explain it as being possessed by another spirit. That's all. But actually, it's the abnormality of the mind itself. Wamad Hikari Satu, Corinne Kaur Satu, Chu Chin, good afternoon and my respect to Tan Ajahn. Kenneth Han, thank you for your advice, Tan Ajahn. Indeed, I don't want to live with wild animals. They are dangerous for the mind. That's right, stay away from them. That's why sometimes they have cages for this type of people, prisons, jail. That's where they go to eventually. Lotus, White Lotus. Ajahn, what type of bad karma when oneself suffers much of skin diseases like psoriasis? I am suffering much now, very itchy and burning. Applying ointment can help much. What type of good karma I need to do in my body health condition? Just give the 5 precepts. Don't break the 5 precepts. Don't hurt other beings, whether human or animal. Treat them nice. Treat them kindly. help them, make them comfortable, make them happy, then you won't have any bad karma, bad consequence of your bad karma. Will Barboa, Namaskaran Kap, Mandy Smith, Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Okay, I have a little breather. So I'm waiting for more questions. Here it is. For Paul Westbury, dear Ajahn, I am going through depression and lack of self-worth because I have been dependent on others more and more since attempting to renounce certain possessions such as vehicle transportation and not having a house of my own. How can I stay confident on the path of renunciation while being in the world? Or should I take as many responsibilities I can to support others instead, which is more beneficial? I think the path of renunciation is the right path to do, but you just have to be strong enough to stay on this path. You have to be able to be happy without having any material possession or having people around you to make you happy. So it means you have to be successful in your meditation practice. If you can enter into jhana, then you will be happy all the time without having any material possession or people around you to make you happy. And you don't need anything. You don't have to go anywhere. Once you're happy with jhana, you can just stay happy with jhana anywhere, anytime. You don't need to travel to go places or anything like that. So I encourage you to take this path, but also you have to be successful in your meditation practice in order to be able to remain on this path. If you still have to rely on people and things to make you happy, then you'll find the path of renunciation to be a very difficult path to take. So you first need to develop good meditation practice. You should be able to find happiness from your meditation practice. Then the path of renunciation will be smooth and easy for you. From Eileen Chi, Ajahn, my mom-in-law passed away 5 days ago. What should you do to help her? You cannot help her much. She just have to rely on her good karma to help her now. What you can do is just give dana and then share the merits from your dana to her by dedicating the merit that you get from your dana and share it with her. That's about the only thing you can do for the departed. Sabrina Sage, I realize the people that come to our life, we have some karmic debt to each other. Once this debt is paid, what binds us still to others? Or better said, how to connect to others? Thank you. It's our desire for happiness from other people that keep us connecting with other people. We still want to be happy, and sometimes by being around people, by having connection with people, making us happy. So if you want to disconnect, you have to find happiness within yourself. You have to be able to meditate and have jhana, because jhana will give you happiness. Once you have your own happiness, then you don't have to connect with other people or things to make you happy. So it's better not to connect to people. It's better to be alone and be happy by yourself. Because when you connect with people, you will have karmic interaction, some good and some bad, and it can cause you a bad feeling eventually. So it's better just to live alone if it's not possible. If you can meditate, if you can be happy with with jhana, then you don't need to connect to people. From Paul Westbury, Sadhu, Sadhu. I must overcome my guilt of dependency. Yeah. By not depending on other people, try to rely on yourself as much as possible. And if your mind is calm and happy, you don't need to have anybody. You don't need to rely on other people. From Dhamma Dipo Bhikkhu, Dhamma Dipo Bhikkhu, Namaskar Ajahn from Bangladesh. Ajahn, in the gradual path, we can see like Dana, Sila, Bhavana, or Sila, Samadhi, Panya. But in the Noble Eightfold Path, why Samma, Samadhi come first? Ajahn, can you please elaborate? Well, you need to have wisdom to come first. And wisdom are of many levels, from the mundane level to the supramundane level. So in the Noble Eightfold Path, you have Samadhi on the mundane level first. Mundane level meaning to have right view about the Four Noble Truths, for instance, right view about samsara, right view about karma. Once you have this right view, then it will lead you to right action, right thought, and right meditation, and so forth. And then it will then send you up to the higher level of samadhi, that of supramundane, that of the noble disciples. Yes, so you need to have wisdom on every level of your path. Right now, you have to have the right view about what you need to do. And what you need to do is to practice sila, samadhi, and panya. Once you know that, then you keep the precept, you practice meditation, and then you develop more wisdom, the higher level of wisdom, called the supramundane level of wisdom. From Chin Li Ching, how do we know we in jhana? How do you know when you eat, when you're full? It's like eating. When you eat, when you're full, you know. You don't have to ask anybody about, am I full or not from eating? Same way with jhana. When your mind becomes calm, peaceful, and happy, you know. You don't need to ask anybody about it. If you don't experience it yet, it means you don't have it yet. If you have it, you will know it. So this is how it works with jhana or with a full stomach. When you eat, when you feel full, you don't ask people, am I full? How do I know how I am full? You don't need to ask. You know you are full. When you meditate and your mind becomes calm, you know for yourself. This is sanditiko. Dhamma is sanditiko. The practitioner will know it for himself or herself. Okay, Pastor Miriachi. Unfortunately, there are no jails for verbally abusive people. Yes, they have libel cases in which people will have to pay money if there's no jail. If they say bad language and it's not true, they can be subjected to libel. From Limho, Sadhu, Sadhu. Paul Westbury, Ajahn, is the karma of body, speech, and thought separate, or can they overlap? Can our thoughts produce action, etc.? You need to think first before you can do any verbal or physical action. Your thought is the director of your body and your speech karma. Before you can say something, you have to think first. Before you do something, you have to think first. So your thought is the real culprit, the mastermind behind your physical and your your verbal action. So you have to be mindful, and if you have mindfulness, then you will be able to see your thought and be able to control your thoughts. You can stop your thought from creating bad karma and directing your thought to only create good karma. That's why you need to develop mindfulness. So the three actions usually go together. First, you have to think before you can say something, or you have to think before you can do something. So this is how they work. Thought comes first. You have to think first, then followed by your speech or by your physical action. Kim Bun Chu Satu Satu, Shivai Satu, Mek Kim Seng Satu Satu, Chin Li Ching. Do we need to distinguish different jhana or just keep on meditating in stillness? Thank you. No need to distinguish them. All you need to do is to have mindfulness. The stronger the mindfulness, the more consistent the mindfulness, the deeper will be your jhana. So just focus on your mindfulness. Keep your ability to focus on one object will lead your mind into calm, deeper calm. So you don't need to worry about the different jhanas. They come from the different level of mindfulness that you can develop. Erwin Huang, Satu, Satu. We have about 8 more minutes left, and so if you want to send in more questions, you can still do it. I'm waiting for your question. Right now, there's no question or comment coming in, so it's a good time to send in your question. But we only have about 7 or 8 minutes left before I have to end this meeting. From Eric Chu, Satu, Satu, Satu. So let me take a break and take a drink of water. I think the problem with all of us is not being able to control our mind because we lack through Dhamma, we lack mindfulness, and we lack wisdom, sensibility, the ability to know what is right, what is wrong, what is hurting us, and what is not hurting us. This is something that we have to develop. Once we can develop mindfulness and the ability to separate right from wrong, good from bad, what is good for us and what is bad for us, then we will solve all of our problems. Our problem arises from our inability to separate good from bad, right from wrong, profitable from harm, because we focus on the wrong object of our happiness. We focus on the body as our object of happiness. We should focus on the mind as the object of our happiness. Then the problem will be solved. From Kanyana Prapan, Sadhu Ajahn. You're welcome. Shiva from Salichi, Sadhu, Sadhu, Shiva A. Thank you, dear Ajahn, for helping us. Lotus White, Ajahn, how to build back the confidence in meditation. I lost in interest meditation. You have to come back and just keep practicing, especially mindfulness. Try to develop more mindfulness before you meditate, because without mindfulness, your meditation will not be successful. So try to concentrate on developing, training yourself with mindfulness from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Keep reciting a mantra to stop your mind from thinking, or keep focusing, watching what your body is doing. and then you will have stronger mindfulness. And when you meditate, then your mind will become calmer and calmer. Then you will be more confident in your meditation. So you have to start with mindfulness. Don't start with meditation. When you start with meditation without mindfulness, you will not get any result, and then you will be discouraged and lost confidence. So you have to do it with mindfulness first. Train yourself in mindfulness from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, and then your mind will be able to calm when you meditate, and then you will feel confident. From Kwan Patum Napa Satu, Paul Westbury. I have had a few deaths in my family recently, and the insight I seem to see is that possession, success, and such is meaningless. But I have not had the motivation to practice as a result. How can I see death clearly to help me succeed in meditation? As opposed to this nihilistic thought of nothing matters. Well, you have to look at your own death, that eventually you also will have to die. And when you die, then you will not be able to do anything for your mind. So when you think like this, then it will then give you that insight to the necessity to practice. Because the goal is to help your mind, not to help your body. But you need to have the body in order to be able to practice the Dhamma, to help your mind, to free your mind from suffering, to free your mind from returning from rebirth, so you don't have to come and then witness all this suffering in this world again and again. So it matters, think of your death. Don't think about other people's death only. You have to think of both your death and other people's death. Other people's death teaches you that nothing in this world is important. But your death teaches you that your life is very precious, that you should apply your life to help you free your mind from suffering, to have your mind free from to return for new rebirth. Stop your rebirth by using your life, your body. And your life is not definite how long you will live. So right now, when you're alive, you should use your life to the benefit of your mind. Then you'll find out how precious your life is to you. Chin Li Ching, when stability of mind, when have stability of mind, can we contemplate the mind instead of body? As noticed interest is there. Thanks. Well, you first need to contemplate on the nature of the body, to let go of your attachment to the body first, before you can go deeper to the mind. If you cannot get rid of your attachment to your mind, it's very difficult for you to contemplate the mind and get rid of your attachment to the mind. So you first need to let go of your attachment to the body, then to the feeling, then you can then go to the mind, to let go of the mind. From any limb, Satu. Tin Jack, the Ajahn, can you briefly advise the ideal posture that one should maintain when meditating? Just sitting cross-legged if you can do that. If you cannot, then you can sit on a chair. Sitting cross-legged will allow you to sit for a long time. It's a more stable position than sitting on a chair. From Kim Edshua, happy Sunday, Ajahn and all. Is the place to recite sutta or meditate as in the bedroom advisable before sleeping or upon waking up? You should do it anytime you can. Doesn't matter when. Do as much as possible. From Siti Kusuma, Satu, always very Satu. Sabrina Sage, Sadhu. Eddie Gann, thank you, Ajahn, for the great advice. Please take good care. Sadhu, Sadhu. Well, we have reached the 1 hour mark for today. So I have to end this meeting. Or I have another question from Ali Hassan Medan. We need your blessing. My friend called me and cried and told me a friend of her husband said someone sent black magic to my friend husband to make him crazy. I'm worried if there's late action will he become crazy. My friend's husband is not a Buddhist. No, there's no such thing as black magic. This is just something people believe in, that's all. No one can make another person happy. Crazy. The person, you can only make yourself crazy. No one can make you crazy. But if you're mindful, if you keep following the teaching of the Buddha, you will not go crazy. So no black magic can make you crazy. It's your own delusion that will make you crazy. So try to study the Dhamma teaching and following the teaching of the Buddha, then you will never be crazy. From William Chalk, good afternoon, Ajahn. From Kenneth Han, thank you, Ajahn, for your teaching. A wonderful start to this Sunday morning. You're welcome. Have a happy Sunday. From Tin Jack, Sadhu. All right, folks, thank you very much for your participation. We're happy to hear from you. Even though I'm not seeing you, at least I read your question. I know that you are interested in the Buddha's teaching. Makes me happy. It encouraged me to keep coming back and answer your questions. So in the meantime, please stay healthy, stay safe from the virus, and be always mindful and keep practicing the Dhamma. Until the next time, which is probably next Sunday, I will have to say goodbye now. Bye-bye.